that we're gonna actually put on here, you can see this little green line is recording everything we say. So this is live right now. So the first thing we're gonna do, I always like to do in the first golf lesson before you, since you haven't really seen your swing, is just kind of look at your swing, what it looks like. And the nice thing is this stuff is gonna be on your video. So everything that's doing right now on the screen is on your video.
Okay.
But I think it's good for someone like yourself just to see what it actually looks like. Oop, not too far. That was a pretty good one. So, like I said to you, we're going to go over some basics. This stuff is not meant to be detailed, not to drive you crazy, but just to show you some basic stuff about the grip, about your setup, and how you're swinging the club. So, what I'd like to start off with is your grip. So this is your grip here, and this is one of the professional grips. So you're pretty close to where you want to be. Now, one thing you have to do is you can see that this hand on the bottom, your right hand, is actually quite close to matching this one.
Right.
So we're really not going to touch that all that much. But you can see the difference is, let's just say you were wearing a glove, right? Your logo would be pointing somewhere in this direction over here, where you can see his is a little bit more on top of the club. So when we put our grip on there, I think you have the right idea about trying to interlock your fingers, but you want to make sure that your grip is always more in the base of your fingers of your left and right hands versus in the palms. Okay? Because in golf we're trying to create some kind of leverage, like an up and down motion, like if you hammer a nail. If it's too much in the palms, you're going to have to move your body to get the club up in the air versus just moving your arms and your hands. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take your left hand here, which is your lead hand, your top hand, and we're going to rotate it a little bit more over this way. Okay? And what that's going to help us do is just get it more in the finger. So what you're trying to do is, if you look at my fingers here, we're trying to just get it right through the first knuckle on your pointing finger and then let it run diagonally down here versus just putting it right here in your lifeline like that, which it kind of looks like it is there. And that's going to be a big help also for consistency and everything. And why that's important, and I might put on the DVD, is because what happens when you put your hands on this, the only thing that actually controls your club. So if you hand me the club here for a second, I'll just pause this for the lead on there. It actually controls this. So the better you put your grip on at the start, when you swing back down to the ball, that club's going to point more where you want the ball to go. Versus if I have my hands in an awkward or off position, now my hands always want to seek, since there's some kind of movement, want to kind of get straight. Now if you can look, then that thing's going to point way to the right if my hands are a little off.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important to start with this here, so you have to make less compensations on the way. So I'm going to pause this first. So you look at your setup is actually quite good. No, it's okay. I'm Chris, I'm sorry. I didn't mean, pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
So your setup actually looks pretty good. With an iron, with anything from a pitching wedge, and I'll explain them when we go up there. Pitching wedge, 9, 8, 7. All of them you want to be right in the middle of your feet.
Okay.
And you did good with that right there. So that's a bad line draw, but right in the middle is good. And you can see how your arms are in a nice setup position, with nice and straight. They're balanced. There's not a bend here or a bend there. So that's very good. So setup-wise, you actually done a pretty good job from this view. So what I want you to watch is I'm just kind of go slowly through this guy's swing. This is Adam Scott. He actually just won the Masters tournament. I want you to watch this movement here. Okay. And then I'm going to take it piece by piece with your swing here. So we're going to just go swing back. I'm going to swing back. So what you got here, there's not much difference so far.
Seems like my club is kind of back more instead of straight up.
Straight up, a little bit. We're going to see that from the other angle, but what I wanted to show you is we get a little bit further back, you'll start to see some difference. And this is where some of the consistency is going. So what do you notice it's a little bit different here?
So my feet, first of all, and then also the club. I'm way
very
far
far.
over.
Right. So what we're gonna do is my goal for you today is I don't want you to really worry about where the club is going as far as around or up or down. But what I want you to try to get a visual with, this is really easy, kind of taking it back to geometry class in high school. We're looking for a little shape here. We're going to look at a 90-degree angle, and we call this an L position, right here. So our goal today is going to be to swing to that position, so almost like where you're going right about here, and you're just going to stop.
Okay.
But you'll notice the only thing different between you here and him there is that his foot is solidly planted on the ground,
Yeah.
and yours is off the ground. Our goal is to try to minimize the movement. So if our goal is we're going to swing back and we're going to swing to L, so you keep your left arm fairly straight, make an L, and then all you're going to do is you're going to swing back and swing to another L. So I'm going to show you. We're going to practice this here, so we're going to go back, and he's going to go a little further there, but as you go through, he hits it, and then you'll see the club goes back up and makes a little bit, maybe not as drastic of an L, but it goes up here,
Yeah.
makes more of an L, and I want to show you here. So you did okay with the L here, but what do you see in the feet?
My feet are not in the right place.
Right. Well, they're both planted on the ground, right? So our goal is going to be to get more of this look where you're actually shifted your weight a little bit here. Oops, I meant to draw an arrow. Shifted your weight here, and the weight is actually on the front leg. So really, all we're going to do today is just get yourself in the grip, and we're going to go from L to L in the finish. That's going to be our only goal. Okay. I'm going to put I put a little bit extra in here so that you have it for them. So when you want to take the next step and go a little bit further, you can. But so I wanted to show you, the only other thing I wanted to show you here, as far as for future reference, is your setup position from this angle. So I'm going to take the same guy and yourself here. So posture-wise, pretty good. For not really playing all that much. I mean, I'm not so concerned about having a perfectly straight back like this. It doesn't have to be that way. So we're going to leave your posture alone. So as long as we can get your L in the backswing, just like that. So that's a very good L. It was pretty close. And they don't expect you to be here after day one. So, but our goal is going to be there, and then swing through and be through to the other L here. But as you can see, you hit this one actually pretty good, and look what your legs are doing compared to the other swing, right? Whereas, if I just show you him first. But if you looked at your other swing, you can see the difference in your legs. So this was not a very good shot.
Right.
This is a good shot. So if we can keep things very simple, we're going to grip, swing from L to L with a little bit of a finish, and then balance. So let's just, I want to stop this here.